Now, this year, a lot of the content that we'll be covering will be delivered through video. Now, watching a video, educational video, is a lot different to watching a normal YouTube video. A normal YouTube video is very uninteractive. You just sit there and watch, you don't do a lot. But with my educational videos, I want you to watch them in a very specific way and then take your notes upon them. And we're going to be using the Cornell Notes system, developed by Cornell University in America. It's one of the major ways that students around the world take their notes. It's efficient, straightforward, and it's very good for pulling the information out of what it is that you're studying. So, when you have your Cornell Notes, so you'll have your page there like that. First thing I'd like you to do is you rule across the top. This is where your title is going to go. You might be watching video number 1 on Pythagoras' theorem and whatever the date happens to be. Then put a gutter down the side, 2 spaces, come to the small space in a moment. In here, this is where the bulk of your notes are going to go. So as you're watching the video, I'll say something, you go, that's important, and you'll write that down. You'll watch a little bit further, you come across another note, think, that's also important, I better write that down. There might be a diagram attached to that I really need to know about. There'll be another note somewhere in there. Right. And then you take your notes in there. Notice what I've done with my note taking. The important part here is I've written a note and I've left a very clear space between what first note and the next note. And that is because if you were to write a whole page of text, your brain has difficulty taking that in. Your brain is very good at taking in small amounts of information. We call that chunking. So you write a little bit of chunk of information, put a clear space, and your brain can recognise that as, that's a separate idea. It can take that little bit of information and it can file it away. But more importantly, once it's filed away, it can easily retrieve it when it needs to. So leaving space between each idea is very important. I use different colours as well. If you want to, I'd highly encourage that. It really helps with the chunking process. Now, over here at the side, this is going to be your main points. So this one, like this notes here, might have something to do with the hypotenuse. And this one here might be how to find the length of the hypotenuse. This one here might be how to find the length of one of the short sides. So, some sort of major point about what your notes are about. Using abbreviations is good too, by the way. So, you've finished watching the video, you've taken all your notes, rule across the bottom, and then there's a gutter down the bottom. I want you to write 2 things. Firstly, I want you to summarise what it is you've just watched. If you were to explain to somebody that hadn't watched the video what the video was about, what would you say to them? That's your summary. And also, after you watch the video, you might have some questions. Might be some information that I brought across to you you still don't get. Well, that's not a problem. You write that particular question down there. And that's very important because that's where we're going to start the next day's lesson. You'll come in and you will develop a learning goal for that day. You better write down, today in maths, my goal is to learn how to, and then you frame your learning goal based upon your question. Then by the end of the lesson, you'll look back to your learning goal and you'll say, yes, I am now much better at that idea than I was at the start of the lesson. And that's how you take Cornell Notes. Now, just one more thing. When you're watching my videos, I would like you to do the following. First of all, watch the video from start to finish. They're all short, they only go for 5, 7, maybe 10 minutes at the most. So watch it from start to finish. Then, I want you to re-watch the video, and in the process of re-watching the video, it's when you take your notes. Cornell Notes fashion, and you'll be able to pull a lot of information out of every video. And by the way, there's 2 buttons that I want you to make good use of on your video player. There's this button, the pause button. Use that a lot. If you hear me say something, that's important, hit pause, write the particular notes. The other important button is the rewind button. You hear me say something, oh, I wonder what that was. Rewind and listen again. These two buttons are essential. Make good use of them. Watch, rewatch and take notes in this particular fashion, and you'll pull a lot of information out of all the videos that you watch this year. So good luck with them.